better.
Lewis, of course, you had the game the other night on Monday night, so you saw it all and you're aware of all the circumstances that are there and you see where they are. Where in your mind are the Dallas Cowboys right now?
Yeah, they're in trouble. There's no doubt about that, and they have a lot of work to do. And look, Zeke is right. It's going to start with the players, and it's going to start with a guy like him who knows this. Anytime he has the ball in his hands, he carries the fortune of the entire franchise with him, and he let them down. They were building a run-centric game plan in that game Monday night to take some of the pressure off of Andy Dalton. They were going to put it on Zeke's shoulders, and he turned the ball over. And we know that you lose the turnover battle in the NFL himself. The big three at wide receiver, look, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, they can't drop passes. They have to make unique plays. They know they're going to have to be special the rest of this year. They know that. They have no margin for error. Simple as that, because the offensive line isn't very good. Andy Dalton is going to need some time to get comfortable. So they know that they're going to have to be big-time playmakers. But all that being said, on the defensive side, they are in big trouble. They just are. Because there is validity to the fact that, yeah, they have some personnel issues. Yeah, the defensive line isn't playing up to par. Yeah, the linebacker situation has not been great. Jalen Smith has not been consistent. Leighton Vander Esch just came back in the Arizona game. But I'll tell you this, from a run-fit perspective against the run, from a schematic perspective, and from a discipline, eye control, understanding where your help is, understanding what pattern matching is supposed to look like, and preventing big plays in the secondary, it's as bad as I've ever seen. And that's just being blunt. It's as bad as I've ever seen. And that falls on the coaches. And they're going to have to get that corrected to help these players out. Otherwise, this team, this season is absolutely just going to go, it's going to implode like it already is, and it's going to get worse. It's as simple as that. So it's a total organizational failure that they all are going to have to pick up the slack right now.
That's well said. And it's a fascinating circumstance. I'll keep saying this. In almost any other circumstance, we'd be talking about what are they going to do to build for next year. This is a first-place team based upon the division. So, Dominique, you hear what Lewis just said. What can they do to make that defense better? What do the coaches need to do? What do the players need to do?
Yeah, I think that the first it needs to start with stopping the run, and that's not something that we talk about very much in modern football because most teams understand that it's more efficient to throw the ball, but it's only more efficient to throw the ball if you're not getting 5-6 yards a carry when you're running the ball, and that's a problem. So first you need to stop the run and convince the secondary to go ahead and let them catch things in front of them and tackle them. Like, they need to start there. Slow these offenses down, and don't give up big plays, whether big running plays or big plays in the pass. Keep everything in front of you, make tackles, and follow your responsibilities. This is the reason why Lewis said that things could start to get worse, is because people start to try to recover and cover up for other mistakes, and they start getting out of their gap because they don't trust that their player, that their teammate is going to do the thing that they're supposed to do, and all that does is make bigger and bigger problems. And then when people are talking in the media, that just snowballs also. They're in a very, very bad situation where a couple more losses or a couple more bad showings will really send this team over the edge, and I don't think they're going to win that division anymore.
Well, we'll have to see. I mean, again, they lead the division by half a game over the Eagles, who play the Giants tonight. Shefty, we've been down this road a million times with different teams where all of a sudden there's anonymous chirping in the locker room and all that kind of stuff. Where do you think it goes from here in Dallas? What are you hearing from the people you talk to?
Well, first off, that's a bad look. When you've got players talking anonymously about a coach, a staff, as much as we love anonymous quotes and anonymous information, that is just unacceptable in an organization, and an organization that's trying to turn it around here and compete in a division that's just ripe for the taking. Beyond the anonymous quotes, you think of this team, and the offensive line for years was its strength, and Lou mentioned that it's struggling right now. So the offensive line that once leaned on Tyron Smith can't do that. He's gone. La'el Collins, gone. Travis Frederick, gone. Zach Martin got hurt the other night with a concussion. So all these people that really help spearhead the success of this team, they're gone. They're turning over the football. That is such a basic thing in football. They are losing fumbles the way that Zeke did on Monday night, and they're not getting any turnovers on defense. What do? I don't know. You just continue to try to work to turn it around. You do what Dominique said. You stop the run. You stop turning over the football. You get healthy, and you hope it gets better in a division that's been bad, that's there for the taking.
And we'll see, again, that division is back on TV tonight. We'll see the Giants and the Eagles and see where it goes. Meanwhile, it is now time that we let our friend Damien Woody respond. In case you were not with us, earlier in the week, this was Stephen A. Smith sitting right here talking directly to D. Wood.
Do you know what happened to me a couple of weeks ago? The Dallas Cowboys lost, and I was trolling them naturally.
Yes.
And when I did that, do you know who actually had the audacity, the unmitigated goal to pick up the phone and call me and FaceTime me?
Oh.
Damien Woody, because his wife wanted to get at me. Wanted to get at me. What? Those Cowboys. You'll wait, Steven. You'll see. You'll see. I didn't hear from the Woody family last night. I couldn't find them. Is the APB out for Mr. and Mrs. Woody? You understand what I'm saying? I couldn't find them.
So that was Tuesday. And then this morning, D. Wood was watching. Stephen A. was watching when D. Wood went off on the Cowboys, and he said, I'm watching you on Get Up. I appreciate your passion, but make sure to remind the world you respond. D. Wood, the floor is yours.
Well, first of all, Stephen A. Smith, how dare you talk about me and my wife while I'm not even in studio? You gonna bring up old stuff. It wasn't even my fault that happened. Literally, she took my phone and called you and FaceTime you to talk smack. Okay, I'm trying to stay out of the Cowboys situation, and then you're gonna bring up last year when I picked the Cowboys. That was last year. Now you want to try to bring it back into 2020. I don't have anything to do with the Cowboys in 2020. So next time you have to address me, you address me in studio, not when I'm here, and definitely not with some damn shades on when you talking to Swag Goo, okay? Don't do that anymore. If you got to address me man to man, face to face. You heard me?
Well done. Well done. We'll work on the tie after. Meanwhile, let's get Louis Riddick. He's up next. Louis, you have got the Bears and the Rams coming up. There's nothing better than when Louis laughs. The Bears, 45 seconds. I know you're looking at the tape. What is the most important matchup in your mind to watch for Monday Night Football, Louis?
Yeah, just listening to Woody, man, I lost my train of thought, man. You know what? But you know what? I'll tell you what. In this game, I think what I'm looking for is I'm looking for this offensive line for the Chicago Bears to have to step up against a fearsome Rams front four led by my guy, Aaron Donald. Because, look, I know this. Matt Nagy right now is staying up at night and losing sleep trying to figure out how can I make sure that he doesn't wreck my offense from the inside out. I got to keep Nick Foles from being hit. He's been hit a lot. He was hit a lot against two of the best defenses in the NFL when they played the Colts and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And although they won the Buccaneers game, they really got manhandled against the Colts and guys like DeForest Buckner. So I think that's what I'm watching. If they can keep him clean, they will be in this game. If they can't, 99 is terrorizing him, it's going to be a long night Monday night.
Aaron Donald actually leads the National Football League in sacks. I was looking some stuff up this morning. 7.5 sacks. He is that leader. Okay, Shefty, to you here, because there was a story yesterday about the Las Vegas Raiders and their offensive line, and I'm trying to follow it, and you're the man with the information. What is the latest there, and what does it mean for their game against Tampa this weekend?
Well, what it means is Trent Brown, their right tackle, was placed on reserve COVID-19 list, and he has been sent home. He's tested positive at this point in time. Out of an abundance of caution, there's that phrase again, the Raiders have sent home their entire starting offensive line, which had been in close proximity to Trent Brown on Monday. Now, they have to go through 5 days of testing here, and we'll see whether any of them come up positive. But the Raiders right now have a big question mark, essentially aside their entire offensive line in relation to Sunday night's game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And again, I think it's a situation where they're expecting those starters to be back, but you have to see how those tests come back this week.
And they will find that out when. That was the question I couldn't get to is, can they come back in the building today? I couldn't make up my mind from what I was reading.
It sounds like they could be back later this week. It sounds like there'll be some testing. It sounds like they'll miss some practice time. But sometimes there are false positives. Again, I think it's later in the week, Rini, on those other offensive linemen that were sent home.
That feels important. I mean, it's the entire starting offensive line going into a big game this weekend. Okay, so we'll stay on top of that one because that's an interesting game and obviously a very big story. Now, let's turn back to the biggest game of the weekend, in my opinion, which is Steelers-Titans, both unbeaten in the AFC. Yesterday, Ben Roethlisberger was talking about facing the Titans in Tennessee, where he has always struggled. Listen to what he said.
But I remember playing these, playing in Tennessee is always so tough. I've never really played well there. it would be different, obviously, to go back on the road. It's been week one. I'm not sure how many fans they're allowing in. I know there's some there, but that was always a big part of playing there. It always felt like it was cold, and it always felt like the fans were really rowdy. So it'll be different this time. But they're always a good team at home for sure.
Right, he's right. He has struggled there. He's 1-2 all-time in Nashville. In those 3 games, he's thrown 4 touchdowns. He's been sacked 11 times. He is right now having a huge year. He's thrown for 11 touchdowns and just 1 interception, and this is a statement game. But I'm just trying to find someone who will finally listen to me. Dominique, I'm going to come to you. I have been saying since August, the Pittsburgh Steelers are the best team in the National Football League. Everyone was making fun of me then. Is anyone willing, Dominique, are you willing to say it now?
I'm willing to jump on that bandwagon with you. However, Patrick LeVon Mahomes scares the hell out of all of us. So, I mean, the Chiefs haven't played all that well so far this season, but I think that's what slows everyone down from jumping on that undefeated Steelers bandwagon with that great defense in a year where it seems like no one plays defense. The Steelers are one team that plays defense and has a quarterback with Super Bowl pedigree and seems like playmakers at every offensive position and a solid offensive line. It's hard to argue against them, and they seem to be getting better every week. So I think you're probably right. They're the best team in the NFL, but I'm still scared of Mahomes. Aren't you a little bit?
Of course, everyone is scared of Mahomes. The best team doesn't always win, and sometimes the best quarterback winds up winning. They were fortunate to win the Super Bowl last year. They had the best quarterback, and they came from all of these deficits. But, Lewis, they have a coach that you trust. They have a quarterback that you trust. They all of a sudden have found a superstar receiver in Chase Claypool, and of all the contenders, they play the best defense, and it's not even close. That's why I keep saying it.
Yeah, I think, and also what you were banking on was the fact that Ben Roethlisberger was going to come back 100% healthy, although he said that he was ready to go and that he'll remain healthy. And as long as he does, look, I think we've seen already like the influence that franchise quarterbacks, Hall of Fame caliber quarterbacks,